Hello, welcome to Japanese craft beer reviews. Today we're looking at a beer from a Japanese major, not a craft beer. I look at beers, all the range of beers in Japan. And what we're going to look at today is part of a series from Sapporo, kind of a minor series, I might say. It's not, you don't see it as often, but it's been going for quite a while, and this is the newest one in the Beer Surprise series from Sapporo. And this is called Sapporo Beer Surprise Shifuku no Kaori, and I'm going to append 2024 onto it because they have made this at least twice before. I will put a link to a web page which shows all of the Beer Surprise series beers, and this one is the 14th in the series. They have made Shifuku no Kaori before. What's different about this one is that they call it an IPA. Okay, and they claim that they use two different hop varieties in it, a blend of two types of hops to create a surprising flavor. And I should say that the series has been around for, this is actually for the 8th anniversary of the series, the Beer Surprise series, and it's kind of a silly name in English. People kind of laugh when they see it the first time, but beers are often not terribly bad, and they're generally quite a bit more bitter than most standard Japanese lagers, and that's been a kind of a standard feature for most of them throughout the 8 years. Rate Beer has no ratings. It wasn't even listed. Untapped, 522 separate ratings, and the average was 3.17, not terribly high. This was released in March 19th, 2024, so where are we now? It's about three weeks back or so. And on Rate Beer, on Untapped, the 522 ratings, I'm not sure if they're including only this version or earlier versions or what. They do have a listing for 2024 version, and only 9 ratings were on that there. Another thing about this beer is it is a Family Mart special. Family Mart, and that's the only place where you can find this beer. Family Mart convenience stores. It's the 14th beer again in the series. The first IPA, the others were Pilsners, and the 8th anniversary of the series here. 226 yen, where I bought it, kind of a standard price these days for an all malt beer in Japan, and that would be $1.49 in U.S. terms, and in Euro terms 1.38. Okay, so I'm curious, how IPA-like will this one be? Well, we'll find out. So the others were Pilsners, lagers, which is a standard form in Japan for a Japanese major. Let's give this a hard pour and see what comes up. Okay, very clear. Completely clear. Negligible carbonation. Can't really see much at all. Coming up, very tiny fine beaded carbs on the side, little beads. About a finger and a half of kind of sponge-like foam. Okay, IPA. Okay, it needs a swirl, and then it comes up. So they say citrus and tropical, refreshing hops. Citrus and tropical. Okay, I'm getting certainly some citrus, a bit of kind of doughy malt. What kind of malt did they use in this? Not sure. I am getting a tiny tinge of what would be like a baby IPA. No, not IPA-like at all. But certainly bitter, as have been most of the beers in this series. Now, I'm not getting the concentrated maltiness or extreme or semi-extreme hoppiness that would affect your mid palate and leave bitter tracks as you are finishing. Some fruitiness, some moderate bitterness. I really can't identify the hops in this at all. Quite muddled. It's clearly not a Pilsner. Maybe halfway on the way to being an IPA, but not much more than that. Okay, we can see a little carbonation rising there. Just a touch. Yeah, this is kind of disappointing. Some of the other ones in this series, the Beer Surprise series, were quite interesting and, were surprising for sure. This one is kind of a disappointment. Yeah, it's a little sweet malt and a touch of bitterness, and then it fades out. And unlike the others in this series, which had, kind of a strong bitter edge to it. Well, I don't recommend this one terribly highly. You will see this in a Family Mart convenience store. That's the only place where you can find it, so you may want to give it a go. I don't think it's going to knock your socks off at all. Again, it's called Sapporo Beer Surprise Shifuku no Kaori 2024, and it's probably not going to be around terribly long. We'll see. But I followed the whole series, and I'll put a link again to the site which shows the whole series, the 13 beers they had up until now, and also a link to my playlist of my reviews for all of these Beer Surprise series here. Okay, well, hope the weather is as good as where you are is as good as where I am. It's finally spring, and finally it's starting to warm up a little bit. And cherry blossoms are late this year, a little bit late, I guess. They should be coming out this weekend, and that would be the 29th, 30th, 31st. And I think probably the peak hanami cherry blossom viewing will be the first few days of April, and I hope you get a chance to go out and see them. That's it for today. Take care. Bye bye.